everybody, welcome to the United Stands. I'm Mark Goldbridge. Here we go. Joshua Zirkzee is a Manchester United player. INEOS' first signing of the summer transfer window, confirmed by Fabrizio Romano. Smash a like on the video. I said today we would get it, and boy oh boy have we got it. Joshua Zirkzee, Manchester United player. Man United will not trigger the release clause, but they will pay slightly above 40 million euros with better payment terms in 3 years. Zirkzee joins until 2029 on a 5-year deal with the option for a further season. It's the first signing of the INEOS era. Not my words, the words of Fabrizio Romano. So how are you feeling, everybody? We're probably not surprised, but it's a big, big deal for Manchester United. We've spoken about why, well, we'll revisit why we haven't paid the release clause, but massive news for Manchester United. Joshua Zirkzee, here we go. Manchester United, signing, done, absolutely fantastic. And look, I think the thing for me is that I don't want to listen to people talking about crap cameos for a minute against England last night. I don't want people talking about he doesn't start for the Netherlands. I want people talking about Milan were going to sign him from Bologna for £34 million, and Manchester United in mid-June, so nearly a month ago, decided that this was the deal they wanted to hijack. In conversation with Ten Hag, collectively as a board, we, with the decision of that board, which we know includes people like Ashworth, Barada, Wilcox, and Ten Hag, of course, we've decided that this is the player that we want to go for. We know we need another striking option to share the load with Rasmus, and we've decided that this is the guy. Do I expect him to come in and hit the ground running, scoring 30 Premier League goals in his first season? No. Do I expect him to come in and grow with a team that's growing? Yes. Do I expect him to offer things that we don't have at the moment? Yes. Do I think he could play in other positions other than as the number 10 up front? Yes. Do I think he could play sometimes behind Erasmus? Yes. Do I think he could play off the wing sometimes? Yes. Do I think that we could adapt the situation and play two? Yes. I look at this player and I think that he's tall. He's got very, very good close technical skills, and we are going to have to adapt to him, and he's going to adapt to us. And no doubt, haters are going to hate. Media are going to hate. He's going to come on for his first half an hour against Fulham and maybe look a little bit rusty, and everyone will go, United have bought another dud. I'm not interested in that. This is a long-term signing for Manchester United. When you look at the vision that we have, when you look at the players that we're buying, we're looking at under 25, come into this football club, learn the ways of this football club under a new ownership, and earn your second contract. Make yourself great. Is he hungry? Yes. Is he young to fight for another contract? Yes. Has he got the talent to go to other levels? Yes. If you look at somebody like Alexis Sanchez, Bastian Schweinsteiger, Zlatan, Ronaldo, they're coming in on the way down the mountain, if we're being honest. Whatever their peak was, they're on the way down the mountain. They've hit their peak. You think about somebody climbing Everest, they've already been up there. They've had the high of the heights. They're on their way down with a smile on their face. It's only going one way. You look at Zirkzee, you look at De Ligt, you look at Agate, they've still got levels to go. And that's the easiest way of describing what we're trying to do here. And they won't all work. Some of them will fall down the mountain because they weren't good enough. But not every signing will work. And I think that the mature way for us to look at this now is that we are making the right type of signings. And if Zirkzee flops, it doesn't mean it wasn't the right signing, because we already know every transfer doesn't succeed. 60-70% of transfers don't succeed. So we're not all going to hit with everybody. If we buy De Ligt, Agate, Zirkzee, Branthwaite, a right back, a left back, statistically 2 of them, maybe 3 of them will flop. It's just the way it is. So I think we need to get realistic. I know we live in this FIFA generation of, you're a flop if you had a bad game, but not everybody does succeed. And maybe Zirkzee won't, and maybe we'll have to go and get another striker next year. But it's the right type of signing. If you're tuning in, it's confirmed. It's the first here we go of the summer. Joshua Zirkzee to Manchester United. Here we go. From Fabrizio Romano. Man United will not pay the release clause. They'll pay a little bit more than that, but it's a 5-year deal with the option for a further year. Will he fly in and do his medical? Will he fly in and, hold the shirt up? Or will he go straight on holiday? I don't know. A few questions that are coming in. Will he go on the tour? Absolutely not. He's just been part of the Dutch squad, so it'll be holiday time for 3 weeks into Old Trafford at the start of August when we get back from the tour. Why are we paying more than the release clause? Simple. And it's encouraging. If you want more signings, what Man United are doing is encouraging. So if we had paid the release clause of 34 million, we would have had to pay the 34 million pounds up front. What we've actually done is what we speculated we would do. We're paying more than 34 million. We're paying a little bit more, but it'll work out less, because instead of having to give Bologna 34 million now, we probably give them 12 million now, 12 million next year, and 15 million the year after, which gives us more flexibility to do another deal. If you pay 34 million pounds for Zirkzee now, you can't probably buy Agate. But if you pay them a little bit more and stagger the payments, you can go and buy another player. So, yeah, don't start listening to twats who start ridiculing the fact that we're paying a little bit more than the release clause. It's good business, like Kara's said. How long do you think the De Ligt deal will take, says Logan? I think with De Ligt, very, very quickly. If you listen to what's being put out there by people like Fabrizio, I think that's getting very, very close. Maybe that's tomorrow. Rizzo says, big up Mark, 41 months a member. Do you think paying a few million more but less each year on the books is the right move by Ashworth? Oh, 100% for what I just said, Rizzo, there. Do you think this is sad? I can't even watch the final Sunday as I work the next day at 3 a.m. like it's depressing having to work, says Bob. Surely he takes the number 9. Jay said 9, here we go, says Trinity. Great buy. How about Chiricarito as a backup at 36, says Anthony. Not sure about that. Mr. Sue says, will he go on pre-season? I think we've answered that. And Mario Franco says, making smart moves. Can't recognise my club now. Well, I think the thing for me is that the real important thing here is that we're getting deals done. Like, we know that we are negotiating for Zirkzee over the last couple of weeks. We know that we are negotiating for De Ligt over the last couple of weeks. And we know that we're negotiating for Agate over the last couple of weeks. But what we're doing here is that we're getting the deals over the line. We've bid for Branthwaite as well. But yeah, we're getting things done. We're negotiating, and then we're moving on. So Zirkzee's here we go now. Official announcement from the club is the final bit, but I'm not that concerned about when that is. Maybe it's August, maybe it's this week before he goes on holiday. As fans, we have a here we go and we move on to the next one. That's how it works. Well, most of us do as well. So it's always nice when you know when you know a deal is going to happen that you actually do get it done. Dano's just gifted memberships, by the way. Make sure you smash a like on the video. This is the first official signing for Manchester United this season. Here we go. Full deal done. Joshua Zirkzee joins Manchester United. Does he solve our attacking issues? I think he does, because we only had Rasmus last season. Martial has left, so he does solve it. I don't think we'll do anything else. I know we've been linked to Tony and Calvert-Lewin and Jonathan David. I don't think we do anything else, but never say never, of course. But what I do think is that, we've got a second option now in the attack. And the battle starts in a very real way. You've got to have competition for places. I really like Rasmus, but Zirkzee will come in, we'll embrace him as a fan base like we always do, and it's exciting. You look at England over the Euros, people have been saying sub Harry Kane or drop Harry Kane, put him on the bench, give Watkins a chance. Options are what it's all about. Last season, I think it's incredible what Rasmus achieved last season, considering he came into the team and was straight away had to start up front at 20 years of age. At least with Zirkzee, that pressure won't be there, hopefully. We'll have that, two strikers working together. And also, breaking news from Laurie Whitwell, Van Nistelrooy, Rennie Heck join as assistant managers. Van der Geek departs. Ten Hag quote, now is a good time to refresh as we look to build on achievements. Mitchell has decided to pursue his own ambitions in a number 1 position. So there you go. Van der Geek wasn't sacked. He wanted to go off and be a number 1. We've brought in Van Nistelrooy and Rennie Heck. And what good timing that is as well on many levels. We sign Zirkzee as our second striker. Ruud gets confirmed as assistant coach. Ruud, legendary Dutch striker at this football club. Zirkzee coming in as a Dutch striker. I think there's a lot to be excited about. I mean, look, it's going to take a lot of work. You know, we are miles off. We finished 8th last season. We're absolutely miles off. There's no doubt about it. We are miles off as a football club. But you know, we have got to make moves. And also what I would say as well is, to any detractor out there, let's get real here. We are 8th in the league. We've won the Carabao Cup and the FA Cup. Great. But they are not the Champions League and they're not the Premier League. They're great. I can't see Arsenal with any trophies, but Arsenal are in a better position. They're in the Champions League the last 2 years. They're fighting for the title the last 2 years. So we are winning domestic trophies, but we're a long way from the consistency required to even be in the top 4. So people thinking that you're going to bring your second striker in and it's going to be Ollie Watkins for £100 million, where does that budget come from? Where does the motivation come from for the player to do a deal with us? We're here. We want to be here. We're not going to get the player that's here. We're not going to do it. So we want to get to here from here. You got to go here to get to here. And I think Zirkzee, De Ligt, Agate, they take us here. And then when you're here, you look to go to here. And maybe, you know, you've got to bring more players in next summer. You can't just jump from here to here. It very rarely happens. So when I see Zirkzee and I see Agate and I see De Ligt and maybe Branthwaite, I think, well, they're the players that have got potential. That may look, we're a better team next season than last season if we get some of these players. And we finished 8th. So this season for me is about finishing in the top 4. Zirkzee, De Ligt, Agate, another centre-back, a left-back, a right-back, a right winger. Won't win us the title in my opinion, but they'll put us into top 4. And then next summer, if we're in the top 4, you're looking at how do you get close to Man City? How do you get close to Arsenal? And that's it. We're going to have to go on a journey. We're going to need some patience. So anybody who's detracting going Zirkzee, oh God, the only club that wanted him was AC Milan. Well, we're not in a position of strength ourselves. We need to improve. And I'd rather be on that ladder climbing the journey than trying to, you know, cheat code our way to the top with unrealistic, you know, decisions. I see us becoming the new Ajax without the selling, says Lidl on quality. Zirkzee, everything about you, so Zirkzee. Alec will it sexy? Yeah, I get it, Alec. Lots of Dutch Ajax influencing United in the team. Think it's a coincidence, Mark. It's looking good, bruv, says Kyle. I'm genuinely not that concerned about the Dutch connection. I think that is something that the British media started, if I'm being completely honest. It started the very, very first summer that Erik ten Hag came to the football club. They wanted Pochettino. And the very, very first summer that he came to Manchester United, they started straight away, as soon as we were buying Martinez, even with Christian Eriksen, the Dutch connection, like it's a bad thing. They started with it straight away. The Eredivisie is not that strong. Why are we buying players? La, 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 all this shit. And it's carried on for ages and ages, bigoted, whatever you want to call it. It's an unfair representation of what, at the end of the day, when a manager comes in to Manchester United or anywhere else and they want to bring players in that have an influence that they've worked with before and they trust, why is that a bad thing? I don't see an issue with it at all. If it fails, it can be a reason that you fail. Of course it could. You know, if we bring all these Dutch influences in like René Heck and Ruud van Nistelrooy and Joshua Zirkzee and De Ligt, and we fail and we finish mid-table, then you'd say, yeah, it didn't work. But if it works, people would go, genius. Genius how a Dutch manager brought in people he knew that he could trust that would play the way he wants to play. Jose Mourinho's brought in loads of players that he's worked with in the past. Loads of players. Loads of coaches that he's took with him. Wheelbarrow says, what's his age? What's his wage? Don't know. Don't know his wage. Does anyone know what his wage is? Don't know about that. Graveyard shift for Zirkzee. We need a new winger. Well, I agree with you on that. We do need service, Tao. We definitely do. Name one Dutch player who played for us last season, says Mario Franco. I presume there isn't one. Mainu shook Zirkzee's hand. Next day, here we go. He's got the magic touch, as Anthony Tracy. Onehurst L1, welcome to the Members Club. You're a legend. Thanks for getting your badge in. Really appreciate that. Ruud, here we go as well. Apparently he's on £100,000 a week. I mean, look, do the wages massively matter? Yes. You know, we gave Anthony 200 grand a week. Disgrace. We don't want to be handing those wages out. I wouldn't normally say it's that important, but I think it is. I think it is important what you're handing out as a wage, and I certainly don't want to see us, doing that. But I think that with Zirkzee, just as a summary of the player, because I forget that some of you might not be regularly watching United Stand, some of you might be new. If you are, make sure you subscribe, bottom right hand corner. Also, please smash a like on the video. It's a bit of a tradition that we try to get to 10,000 likes for a new signing. But in relation to Zirkzee, if you're not aware what he is, I think he's 6'3". He's definitely over 6'2". He's tall. As the type of striker, he's certainly not an Ollie Watkins. He's certainly not a Rasmus. He's not a player that is a penalty box striker by any means at the moment. I think Zirkzee's best attribute is his ability to get involved in the build-up. I wouldn't say he's Harry Kane by any means, but he's more of a Harry Kane than he's an Erling Haaland. He wants to get involved. He wants to dribble. He really is a player that likes to dribble. He is a player that, wants to get involved in the build-up, like I say. He's got physicality. He's actually quite tall when you look at him comparative to others. And I think that when you look, I've got the stats here. I'm just going to go through some of the stuff. I can compare him for you to the likes of, in fact, let's go back to it because we've done it before. So dribbles per 90 for Zirkzee, 4.3 dribbles per 90 is what he averaged last season. Harry Kane 1.8, Erling Haaland 1.3, Rasmus Højlund 2.1, Ivan Toney 2.1, so 4.3. He is definitely get the ball and take people on as a striker. You can definitely see that. 4.3, it's more than double any of those strikers I've mentioned. In relation to shots per 90, he's up there, 2.4 compared to Harry Kane 3.2. Rasmus 1.6, but that's being up front for Man United. You might notice that changing. Assists per 90 is better than anybody apart from Harry Kane. He averages 0.14 assists per 90. Tony's 0.1, Rasmus 0.07. Only Harry Kane is better at 0.18. He is a player that really is about getting on the ball, making things happen. And I think that is something that will be a nice counterfoil to somebody like Rasmus. Because when you look at passes per 90 for a striker, last season, Rasmus was averaging 14 passes every 19 minutes. 28 for Zirkzee, which is double that. More than any other striker. Harry Kane, 17. Erling Haaland, 11. Ivan Toney, 19. So, look, very, very quick glimpse there of what someone like Rasmus and Harry Kane and Erling Haaland are. But in Zirkzee, dribble, passes, he's very, very creative. That's what he is. And we haven't got that. So I look at Man United with Zirkzee up front, and I think you've got that player that, if we're not getting service to Rasmus, you take him off and you bring Zirkzee on, who will drop deep and get involved in the creative and maybe play a Rashford in or a Garnacho in, or he'll get hold of the ball and he'll take people on. And I think that in itself is really interesting. We've got an Ornstein update as well coming in for you as well. It's all going on again, isn't it? I did say that this would be the case today. I felt like it, get the morning out of the way, and here we go. So update from Ornstein, Zirkzee. We spoke about this morning. I'm right. Zirkzee scheduled to fly into UK tonight and undergo medical on Friday ahead of completing move from Bologna to Manchester United. 3-year deal, 5+1, 3-year spread out of 42.5 million euros, which works out at about a couple million more for Bologna just to spread that money out. So we're only paying a couple of million more in euros than the release clause, which is 40 million euros. So 40 million euros was the release clause. We're playing 42.5, so we can spread it out over the 3 years and not have to pay all up front. But yeah, interesting what David Ornstein is saying there, that he'll fly to Manchester United to do the medical tomorrow, which is good, because that means that he'll do the medical, he'll hold the shirt up, and we'll get the official statement and quotes from him. I mentioned this morning, and the interesting thing on this is that he could have had a here we go on holiday, we'll sort this out when you get back. But the fact that he's doing the medical before he goes on holiday means that we'll get the official announcement and the pictures with the shirt, and we can move on to something else, which would be great. Irish Legend says, off topic, but was thinking about this morning. Can we set a petition, change our walkout music to United Road? Needs changing from This Is The One. I don't know. I like This Is The One, Irish Legend. He's flying in tonight, says Ben. Are you at all worried that Ten Hag, Hake and Rude won't mesh and it could just be INEOS shoehorning coaching talent together? Well, they went out for a meal last night, Level. I think they'll be okay. Are we still in for Frimpong, says Nick? Well, we don't know what we're doing at a right back because Wan-Bissaka's still here. We don't know what we're doing as left back either. There's another update I've been given here. I just want to double check it very, very quickly. Let me have a quick look. It's a very low level tier source here, but apparently AS... Real Madrid can't sign Lenny Yoro. Lazio's Gilla is the first option on the list. That's from AS, who I've got plenty of experience with AS in Spain, and they can be a bit BS, i.e. bullshit. So I don't think that it's time to get excited about Yoro yet, but you never know. Remember, we've had a bid accepted for Yoro, and it could happen for us. How many more signings before the transfer window to be a grade A plus or A? I mean, Bob, if you want to get excited about how you're going to rank the summer transfer window, that's fine by me. Love it. I personally think that we're in a position where INEOS, Ten Hag have got to impress us. After 10 years of failures and mistakes, we are here to be impressed. And to do that, this is a great start. I've already said that I feel very confident that we will get deals over the line quickly. I felt confident, you know, when I was seeing people in the chat say we still haven't done any deals. They're lined up. Like, they're literally lined up. I'd have been terrified if we hadn't been speaking to people, but Zirkzee's been going on for 3 weeks. Branthwaite, we've put 2 bids on. De Ligt's been going on for a couple of weeks. Agate, we've been talking to PSG for a couple of weeks. Today, the Euros ends for the Netherlands. Zirkzee signs. I expect De Ligt will happen very, very soon. Who knows what happens with Yoro? That bid's in. Who knows what happens with Agate? Those talks are ongoing. Who knows what happens with Branthwaite? You know, we could go from a position of no signings this morning to 4 signings by the end of next week, and then you're way, 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 way ahead of schedule. I do feel like De Ligt will happen very quickly because it just feels like we've got them lined up and ready to go. Yeah, United are busy. We're busy in the transfer market and there's a lot to get involved in. Make sure you're smashing a like on that video. Please do subscribe as well. Zirkzee makes 23k a week on his Bologna contract. Apparently, that's from Flawless Football. Apparently, it's going to go up to about 100k a week, which is fine. I don't think anyone's going to care about paying £100,000 a week for Zirkzee. It's about what Rasmus is on. It's, it's 50 grand a week less than we're paying Christian Eriksen or Donny van der Beek. So already, everywhere you look around United at the moment, I think we're in agreement that there are steps in the right direction. Stupid wages not being given out, adapting release clauses so we can pay a little bit more, but a little bit, but it'll be better for us over 3 years. Getting in, hijacking deals. Let's not forget, this player was going to AC Milan. We had Fabrizio on a month ago. I asked him about Zirkzee and he said, everything suggests he's going to go to AC Milan on July the 1st when the release clause kicks in. United do a Chelsea. We swoop in, we hijack. Why did we hijack? I think we hijacked because at the start of June, we didn't even know if Ten Hag was going to stay. I think the minute INEOS decided Ten Hag was going to stay, we started having those conversations about transfers. And I think they were talking about a striker. Sesko had decided to stay at Leipzig. And I think Ten Hag said, look, I think Zirkzee's the guy I'd go for. INEOS have looked at it and gone, yeah, we agree. Let's hijack. And there we go. Hijack. Do you think INEOS have made all the right choices so far? Could it be the start of United coming back? Look, Peacock, I think we need to judge it on a case-by-case basis. Look, if we pay £60 million for Branthwaite, I think that's a mistake. If we walk away, I think that's the right thing to do unless we can get him for £50 million. United have just announced Ruud van Nistelrooy and René Heck on the website. It says Asad, thank you very much. Man United signing Zirkzee for €42 million instead of 40 million and spend less this year to buy more players. Football people doing big football things. We deserve this, says Akil. Thank you very much for that. Very, very similar to Jesus. Get him in, says Sent. Mark, Zirkzee will force Scooby-Doo to leave because of his height. The only reason we use Scooby-Doo, says Alex. Willie Press, says Temple. Yes. Level Heck, welcome to the members. Sorry, thank you very much for your super chat. He is flying in tonight, says Ben. Frimpong, we've spoken about. We've spoken about his wage, about 100 grand a week. Thank you very much for that. Look, it's just nice to be doing our first, here we go, of the summer transfer window 2024. You deserve it. We deserve it. Manchester United, we deserve this. We've had 10 years of mistakes, silly wages, silly transfer fees, buying players. I would also say as well, bad wages, bad transfer fees, but also bad signings in relation to age. I mean, I love Ronaldo, Zlatan, Schweinsteiger. They're all good players. I like them. Casemiro, Varane. But there was a theme there of, why did we do those deals? You know, when you look back on them with hindsight, I was happy with all those deals. But when you look back at Varane, Casemiro, Alexis Sanchez, Ronaldo, Zlatan, Schweinsteiger, they're all walking down the mountain. They've hit their peak. And we're giving them huge wages, huge contracts. And they're coming to the end. And we were buying them when we weren't at the top. You know, if Man City decide to buy Kimmich at 29, they're already the best team in the league. It's worth it. But we were buying these players on huge wages who are on the decline to come in and take us back to the top. It was just a mad idea. And what we're doing now is we're going, if you're over 25, there's got to be a really good reason that we go for you, because really we're miles off where we need to be. A project is going to take 3-4 years. So why buy a player that's 29 who'll be 33 at the end of the project, or 32 who won't see the project? We're looking at players under 25 who can come in, fight for the next contract, be hungry, be passionate, and take us to the next level. I think it's the right way. And I think Melps is right. The reason we did those deals, Mark, was commercialism. And we know that the Glazer, Woodward, Arnold era was about commercialism. It was brand. It was about selling shirts. It was about, you know, big is better. And we're building a football club, and the fans are absolutely spot on about that. Absolutely fantastic. Look, we might be back live again. Thank you everyone for tuning in. Make sure you're smashing a like on the video, and please do subscribe. The next Fabrizio, here we go, should be live on here. Says Sohil. It is live here now, mate. I don't know what's going on, man. Zirkzee had the most possession, won in the final third in the whole of Serie A last season. He's a pressing monster, says Flawless. Very, very different to Rasmus, and I think that's a good thing. I think something different really, really helps. Ronaldo, look, I was happy with Ronaldo coming back, Merker. Will you make a video like you did with Amrabat about Zirkzee, says Albert. I can't remember what that video was. Get in the comments. What is the bid going to be for Agate, says FC. We'll have to wait and see. Are you happy with Zirkzee, De Ligt and Agate? Yes, Kieran. I think, like I said, we're 8th. We want to go to 1st, but I think we've got to go to 4th first. And I think these players are going to help us go to the next level. And then next summer, you bring a few more players in and you go to the next level. I'm happy to go on a journey. This is the start of the journey. Smash a like. Make sure you subscribe. Don't forget we're live at 8 o'clock, but we could be live again before. Subscribe. It's all popping off. Fantastic start to the window. Here we go. You've been great. Speak to you all in a bit.